This is Diana Sullivan in Austin, Texas. Here's how to make a twisted fringe, and it is knitted in a long strip on your knitting machine and then applied later to a piece of knitting. In this case, I picked up stitches along the top of the edge and knitted the plain knitting after making the fringe. The machine is a Studio 860 mid-gauge, but this design is for any machine. And to start, you want to E-wrap on 3 needles. The needles are 16, 17, and 18 left of 0. So I have my E-wrap, and now I will go ahead and thread the machine, and I will knit just across and toward the right. Let me make sure that knitted through. Sometimes that first slip knot's a little tight. And I am going to hang a claw weight on those 3 needles. Now I'm picking out an additional needle over to the right of 0, number 16 right. You want the machine set on a tighter tension than you would normally use for the rest of the knitting. So in this case, I might want to use tension 5 for the rest of the knitting, but I have my stitch dial set on tension 2. And I'm going to knit to the left, that's 2 rows, and then to the right, and to the left again. So I have knitted 4 rows. Now I take these loops off the right hand needle. I'm leaving the needle in working position, but the loops are off, and I'm putting my finger in the 2 large loops that formed because of there being that needle there. And then I'm going to twist it 16 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I put the transfer tool in the middle of the loop of yarn, and I'm just going to hang this loop of yarn right on the center of these 3 needles. And just twist those into the pretty little twist. I also want to go down 2 rows below the machine and pick up the heel of the stitch below and put that on that center needle as well. Now here we go again. Knit 4 rows. Pick up this heel of the stitch 2 rows below the needle and hang it on the center needle. Unthread these 2 big loops and put my finger in them and twist. And once they're twisted, I put the transfer tool in, smooth the twists out, hang it on the middle needle, and I like to shape these with my fingers as I go. So there's my second little fringe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift up this heel of the stitch a couple of rows below onto that center needle. Take the loops off these, put them on my finger, and go 16 times. Now you may want to twist more, you may want longer fringes, you'll just have to play with this. It's really quite fun to play with. My yarn is a sport weight yarn. You want to twist in the same direction every time, and you do want to count your twists so that the little loops are the same tightness each time. So once again, it's lift up this stitch over here, take these off the needle, Put your finger in them. Hang it on the center of the 3 stitches. Shape it into a pretty little twist. Now I'm going to go a little farther and then show you how to finish off the trim. Whenever your fringe is long enough, you just need to bind off without doing any more loops. And that's very simple to do. Get rid of the needle over on the right, and then loosen your tension by 5 whole numbers. Knit slowly across, then cut the yarn a little ways from the knitting. Bring the needles out into hold, and just do the loop through a loop bind off. You'll need a latch tool. You insert the latch tool in the first loop that is not where the loose end of yarn is. Pull it off the end of the needle. Pull the second loop through the first loop, the third loop through the second loop, and then pull the ending end of the yarn on through. Once your fringe trim is made, you can apply it to the surface of your garment. You can pick up stitches along the edge and knit, beginning with the fringe. You can also sew it to the ends or to the seam lines of your garment.